this must have like happened like possibly around like, I don't know, maybe 2007 or something, before I ended up like moving to North Carolina. And Charles had actually fixed up the white Supra that you guys had actually heard about possibly in one of my other videos if you watched it. And you know, we were just kind of like cruising through the night, and we came across like this, what was it, like a 240 SX, and we were just like, hey, let's just drive crazily throughout the night. So we did. You know, we just cruising up and down, you know, Route 3. At one point, we were driving like near the Nashua / like Merrimack border, and the 240 in front of us, like, we were passing some stoplights. The 240 like slammed on his brakes because there was like a car that wasn't moving, and Charles was behind the 240 and he slammed on his brakes, and we were just like, oh no, we're gonna crash into that 240. But fortunately, Charles was able to like veer off to the left, and we spun out like twice. There was just like smoke everywhere, and we're just like, oh my god. Charles was like, dude, oh my god. So we like pull off into a church and whatnot, and he was like checking his car and everything. I was like, dude, the car seems like it's like riding okay. He's like, yeah, dude. He's like, but I don't have ABS, man. He's like, I'm worried that like the tires are like flat, like kind of what like happened to Scott that one night. And I was like, nah, dude. I was like, that was literally like, that wasn't that far of a distance, dude. Like, you know, Scott, you know, he slammed on his brakes, and those skid marks were like about a half mile long, dude. It was like, this was maybe like 20 feet. He's like, no, I gotta check them. So he like checked it. Everything was okay. And you know, the guy in the 240 like comes around. He's like, dude, is everything okay? Like, you guys alright? He's like, hey, yeah, man. He's like, God. He's like, I could have like crashed into somebody. He's like, I would have felt horrible. I was like, well, dude, at least you didn't crash the car. I was like, you got that going for you, you know? And he's like, oh. It's like, no way, dude. He's like, would it feel so bad if I like hurt you? I was like, no, dude, I would have felt horrible if you damaged your car. I was like, forget about me. He's like, no, dude. It's like material things, like, they don't matter. Your life matters. I was like, Charles, thank you. But the Supra's okay, so it's all good. So, yeah, that was that one night. And, you know, later on, like, that year, we were hanging out again with our friend Steve. And it was the first snowfall of the season. So, you know, this was like the end of October up in New Hampshire. And Charles and I, we get in a Supra, and we're just like, alright, dude, let's do this. So we just kind of like go looking for empty parking lots, and we end up at the Pheasant Lane Mall. And Pheasant Lane Mall, it has some huge parking areas, like really big. And you know, for the rest of the country who doesn't deal with snow all the time, up in the New England area, like, regardless of whether it's like, you know, clear roads or snowy roads, like, everybody's out driving. It's just the way life is. And so obviously not everything was empty. However, we did find one of the empty parking lots that, like, you know, they're empty like all year long except for like, you know, Black Friday, or, you know, whenever there's a lot of you know, special events, or, you know, holiday shopping going on. So this parking area was like really big, and we're like, oh hell yeah, dude, right there. So we just started like ripping it, man. We just started doing like donuts and stuff, and like there's some patches of it were like really icy, so we're just like spinning the wheels, like, you know, we were just having a lot of fun. And we get a call from Steve, and he's like, hey guys, what you guys doing? And we're like, we're hooning. We're, you know, we're doing donuts in the snow. And he's like, oh, awesome, guys. Like, you mind if I join you guys? We're like, yeah, it was like, but you know, we're at the mall, and you know, mall security has been looking at us a couple times already, and we're just kind of like, so we might have to leave soon. I was like, I don't think they care. I was like, but we've kind of gotten bored. And he's like, oh, guys, I know there's one really good place. And we're like, where's it at? So he kind of like tells us the street, and we're just like, well, we don't know where that is. And he's like, well, meet up with me, like, you know, at Dunkin' Donuts. So we meet up there, and then he's like, all right, guys, follow me. So we follow him, and we find a church, and we're just like, oh yeah, churches have the best parking lots for doing donuts. And so we drive down, and the parking lot for this church was really like, it was different from all the other ones I've ever seen before, because it was actually like, you know, the church was on top of a hill, and then you drive past the church and you go down the hill, and there's just like a huge cul-de-sac. Like, it was just like really big, and you know, it was just covered in snow. It was fresh, so it was just perfect. And you know, he was in his Miata, and you know, obviously we were in the Supra, and we just start doing donuts, and then we just start, you know, having fun and whatnot. And like, I see like this guy like come up, and he's just like with his arms at his hips, and he's like, and I'm like, hey guys, we should probably get out of here. Like, this guy looks like he's bad news. And they're like, nah, bro, it'll be fine. So we just keep, you know, doing donuts. And, you know, we just having fun, grand old time. And then, you know, I'm driving Steve's Miata, like, just doing donuts, or, you know, attempting to, because he didn't have, like, an LSD in his car back then. So we just kind of, like, you know, we were just gonna like spin out, and then we try again, and we tried, you know, we were trying to like do continuous drifts or whatever, and suddenly a cop shows up, and he's like, hey, what are you guys doing? We're like, well, officer, we're testing our, you know, counter steering techniques, because you know, we want to be able to drive properly, and you know, given situations like this where it's snowing. He's like, come on guys, he's like, don't give me that crap. He's like, it's the first snowfall of the season. You guys think I wasn't young at some point? He's like, give me all your licenses. And we're like, okay, officer. So he like, he takes our licenses, and then he made us like put our cars on the hood of the cars, and he's like, stay right there, don't go anywhere. And we're like, yes, officer. So he like comes back like 5 minutes later. He's like, all right, guys, you know the drill. He's like, I was young too at one point. I know this is fun. He's like, but this is private property. It is a church. And he's like, they're being really uptight about it. So you guys get out of here. And he's like, if I catch you again, I'm going to have to give you guys tickets. And we're like, yes, officer. So we just like booked it out of there. And yeah, I don't remember what else we did that night. I think we found like another like church parking lot in like some other town, and we just ripped that one apart. So yeah, that was that night. But see, the thing is, like, no one really knows what became of those guys. You know, some people say that, you know, they just kind of parted their own ways and they haven't seen each other. Some people say that, you know, because of the you know, the crazy driving that they were doing that night, there was actually a promoter who saw their driving techniques and you know, hired them all to be stunt drivers. Some people say those three guys are still, you know, finding every church parking lot that they can find, and just tearing down and laying some new rubber on every single one. They're christening and blessing every single church parking lot that they can find. Obviously, you know, that's not what's going on. But it's what I choose to believe. It's what I hold dear in my heart.